You may know the biggest names in the world of cameras and photography today. Companies like Sony and Canon. But there was a time when one company stood above all of them. A company that many people consider the true pioneer and the mother of modern photography. Kodak. Kodak was not just a camera company. It was the company that changed the way humans captured memories forever. But ironically, the same company that helped create the future of photography was eventually destroyed by that very future. In the 1970s, Kodak invented something that could have completely transformed the photography industry. The first digital camera. It was a revolutionary technology that had the potential to change the entire world of photography.
But instead of immediately embracing this invention and leading the digital revolution, Kodak stopped. It hesitated. It spent years analyzing, researching, and calculating whether this new technology would actually be profitable for the company or not. While Kodak was trapped in endless meetings, predictions, and financial calculations, its competitors were moving forward. Companies like Sony and Canon quickly recognized the opportunity, entered the digital market, and eventually took the position that Kodak once owned. And this is exactly why you rarely hear Kodak's name as a giant technology company today. The company that once dominated photography filed for bankruptcy in 2012. The mistake Kodak made has a name: analytical paralysis. Analytical paralysis happens when a person or an organization spends so much time planning, analyzing, and trying to make the perfect decision that they never actually take action. And this problem has another familiar name: perfectionism. One of the biggest weaknesses of modern humans is not a lack of knowledge or intelligence. It is the inability to take action. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions, and as a result, they keep delaying their goals. One of the strongest weapons against this problem is self-control. People who can control their desires, emotions, and immediate needs are usually less likely to procrastinate. They are able to focus on long-term rewards instead of short-term pleasure. But how strong is the human ability to control desires? In the 1960s, psychologist Walter Mischel at Stanford University conducted one of the most famous experiments in psychology. An experiment that became known as the Marshmallow Experiment. In this experiment, children were given a simple choice. They could eat one marshmallow immediately, or they could wait for a period of time and receive 2 marshmallows instead. The choice was simple, but the meaning behind it was profound. Decades later, researchers found that many of the children who were better at delaying gratification showed greater success in areas such as education, social relationships, and personal achievements. So the question is, how can we strengthen our self-control? How can we overcome procrastination? And how can we finally escape the trap of perfectionism and start taking real action? In this video, we will not only answer these questions, but we will also explore the wisdom of Stoic philosophers and discover their practical solutions for defeating procrastination, managing time, and building a more disciplined life. Our sources. The sources we use in this video are the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and the book Immediate Action by Thibaut Meurice. I am Siddhar, and welcome to another video from the Power of Words channel. Now, let's get straight to the point. Before we talk about procrastination and perfectionism, we need to understand the foundation behind them: self-control. Because without controlling ourselves, no strategy, no plan, and no motivation can truly change our lives. There are 3 main models that explain self-control. The first is voluntary self-control. The second is self-regulation. And the third is intermittent self-control. Let's start with the first one. One of the biggest enemies of voluntary self-control in the modern world is what many people call Dopamine addiction. Of course, dopamine itself is not a poison. Dopamine is a natural chemical in our brain that plays an important role in motivation, learning, and reward. The problem begins when our brain becomes too accustomed to instant rewards. Modern life has surrounded us with unlimited sources of immediate pleasure. Social media, endless scrolling, fast food, cigarettes, vaping, video games, and many other distractions. And slowly, the brain starts asking a dangerous question. Why should I work hard for a reward that comes 6 months or 1 year later, when I can get a small pleasure right now? Quote, "This is where voluntary self-control becomes important. To overcome this, we need to connect our actions to a deeper identity, because temporary goals often disappear once they are achieved. For example, if you say, I want to exercise until I lose 10 kilograms. What happens after you lose those 10 kilograms? The goal is finished, and you may no longer have a strong reason to continue. But if you say, I want to become an athlete, I want to become a person who respects my body and protects my health for the next 40 years. Now exercise is no longer just a task. It becomes part of your identity. You are not forcing yourself to exercise anymore. You are simply acting according to the person you have decided to become." Now let's move to the second model, self-regulation. The main challenge here is simple. How can we choose long-term rewards instead of immediate pleasures? One interesting strategy mentioned in the book Immediate Action is creating what we can call artificial urgency. Imagine your goal is to lose 12 kilograms in 1 year. The problem is that 1 year feels very far away. Your brain does not feel immediate pressure. But if you divide that goal into smaller deadlines, 1 kilogram this month, now the deadline feels closer. If you fail to lose that 1 kilogram, your brain understands that you are falling behind your larger goal. By bringing the finish line closer, you create urgency. And this connects to a famous psychological principle called Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. In other words, if you give yourself 1 month to complete a task, you will often spend most of that month preparing and delaying. But if you give yourself 1 week, your brain becomes more focused, and you are more likely to take action. Shorter deadlines create pressure, and pressure creates focus. They also provide small feelings of achievement, small rewards that increase motivation and help you continue. Now we reach the third model, intermittent self-control. This model is connected to something very important, willpower fatigue. There was a famous experiment where participants were exposed to an unpleasant smell and were asked to ignore it while completing a difficult writing task. After that, they were given another challenging task. The results were interesting. Those who had used more self-control in the first task performed worse in the second task. This suggested that self-control works like a limited resource, something that can become tired when we constantly use it. Think about your muscles. You cannot hang from a pull-up bar for 10 minutes on your first day. After a short time, your muscles start shaking because their energy reserves are being used. But does that mean your muscles are weak forever? No. You rest, you recover, and when you return, you become stronger. Self-control works in a similar way. You should train it gradually, respect its limits, and not expect yourself to become perfect overnight. Because when we become too strict with ourselves and demand absolute control at every moment, another problem appears: perfectionism. We have already discussed perfectionism from different perspectives on the Power of Words channel. And we even explored the ideas from the book How to Be an Imperfectionist. But this time, let's look at it from another angle. Perhaps ancient philosophers discovered a solution to this problem thousands of years ago. Imagine the year 170 AD. The Roman Empire is at war with Germanic tribes. In the middle of the night, On the battlefield, one of the most powerful people in the world enters his tent. This person is not only a military commander. He is the Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius.
After a long day of war and responsibility, he finds a few quiet moments for himself. And what does one of the most powerful men on earth do during those moments? He writes. He writes his thoughts, his emotions, his mistakes, his fears, and the lessons he has learned. This private journal later became known as Meditations. It was never written as a book for others to read. It was a personal tool that Marcus Aurelius used to understand himself, control his emotions, and improve his character. And perhaps this simple habit holds one of the answers to controlling perfectionism. But the question is, how can writing a journal help us overcome perfectionism? Journaling does something very important. It helps you recognize your own patterns of thinking. Many times, our minds make problems look much bigger than they really are. A small problem can become a huge mountain when it stays only inside our thoughts.
But when you transfer those thoughts from your mind onto paper, something changes. You can finally see them from a distance. You realize which problems are real, which fears are exaggerated, and which worries are simply created by your own imagination. Writing also brings your attention back to the present moment. Instead of constantly traveling between regrets from the past and fears about the future, you learn to focus on what you can control today. Another important benefit is that journaling makes you feel productive, even on days when your biggest achievement is simply writing. And the most beautiful part is that nobody will judge this notebook. Nobody will criticize your thoughts. Nobody will see your fears. You can write honestly, release your worries, and create a safe place for yourself. As the German writer Anne Frank once wrote, paper is more patient than people. Another powerful effect of journaling is that it fights procrastination. Because every day, it forces you to face the things you are avoiding. It asks you, what am I running away from? Quote, what is the thing I know I should do, but keep delaying? Quote, and sometimes, simply becoming aware of these things is the first step toward changing them. Now the question is, how can we write like a Stoic philosopher? How can we use journaling as a tool for self-improvement? One simple method recommended for beginners is the one sentence a day method. Especially if you don't know how to start writing, this is a great way to build the habit. You don't need to write pages. You can simply write one meaningful sentence from your day. Maybe a lesson you learned. Maybe an idea that influenced you. Maybe something that made you think. When I personally started journaling, I made a common mistake. I tried to turn my notebook into a place where I gave myself advice and immediately searched for solutions. But later, I understood something important. The purpose of journaling is not always to find answers. The first purpose is to understand yourself. You don't need to immediately fix every problem. First, you need to understand your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and the reasons behind your actions. Self-awareness comes before self-improvement. Another Stoic recommendation is to write at night, before sleeping. Use those final moments of the day to organize your thoughts and review what happened. And the sleep that comes after this mental organization feels different. I personally experienced this for 2 or 3 months. Because of a heavy workload, I felt like my entire day belonged to responsibilities and not to myself. Because of that feeling, I developed a habit of staying awake late at night just to have some personal time. Watching a movie, using my phone, or simply refusing to end the day. But after following this practice, something changed. I no longer feel the need to steal time from the night. Instead, I find peace by writing and reflecting. Of course, journaling will not magically remove every problem in your life. It will not erase every responsibility or solve every difficult situation, but it gives you control over the part of life that is actually in your hands. It helps you organize your thoughts, focus your energy, and deal with challenges with a clearer mind. And honestly, since I started writing and stopped carrying every worry like a heavy cloud above my head, many of the perfectionistic thoughts that had followed me for years became much weaker. Marcus Aurelius suggested starting with simple questions. What did I think today? What did I do today? What happened today? And after answering these questions, you can go deeper by adding another word. Why? Quote, why did I think this way? Why did I react like that? Why did I make this choice? By asking why, you begin to understand yourself on a much deeper level. Many people say, these ideas are great, these philosophies make sense, but I cannot actually apply them in my life. For example, I want to live according to Nietzsche's idea of becoming a stronger version of myself. I want to apply Stoic philosophy. But when life becomes difficult, my brain automatically returns to the same old patterns. This happens even after reading many books, listening to countless podcasts, and watching many educational videos. So what is the solution? Marcus Aurelius had an answer. Repetition. Repetition and practice. One of the most important ways to move an idea from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind is to repeat it again and again. Many people criticize Marcus Aurelius' meditations because many ideas are repeated throughout the book, but that repetition was intentional. If Marcus Aurelius had written those lessons only once, he probably would have forgotten them. The purpose was not simply to read. The purpose was to engrave those principles deeply into his mind. And this is exactly how real change happens. Not through one powerful moment, not through one motivational video, but through small actions repeated every day until they become part of who you are. And now, here is the mind map and summary of this video. We will upload the file of this table and the mind map on our Telegram channel 24 hours after publishing. If this video was useful for you, share it with someone who might benefit from it. Thank you for being the reason and motivation behind improving our content through your likes, comments, and support. Thank you for being here. Long live rationality. Long live philosophy. Long live humanity.